King Tutankhamun, or King Tut, the boy pharaoh of ancient Egypt, has captured imaginations for over a century. His tomb, discovered in 1922 by British archaeologist Howard Carter, was the most intact royal tomb ever found in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. Yet, this incredible archaeological find has been overshadowed by something more sinister, a supposed curse. But is the Curse of King Tutankhamun fact or fiction? Today we'll explore the legend of King Tut's curse and find out whether there's any truth to it, or if it's simply a creation of overactive imaginations and sensational media stories. First, let's talk about King Tutankhamun. He reigned as pharaoh from 1332 to 1323 BCE during Egypt's New Kingdom. His reign was short, as he became king at around 9 years old and died at just 19. Because his rule was brief and marked by few significant events, his place in history was largely forgotten until the discovery of his tomb thousands of years later. But it wasn't King Tut's rule or his political significance that made him famous. It was his tomb. Hidden for more than 3,000 years, it was one of the last royal tombs to be discovered completely intact, filled with treasure beyond imagination. But this is where the legend of the curse begins. In November 1922, after years of searching, archaeologist Howard Carter discovered the entrance to Tutankhamun's tomb. Along with his financial backer, Lord Carnarvon, they entered the tomb and revealed treasures beyond belief. Golden statues, chariots, jewelry, and most famously, the golden funerary mask of the boy king. When Carter first peered inside the tomb, Lord Carnarvon asked, "Can you see anything?" To which Carter famously replied, "Yes, wonderful things." But soon after this momentous discovery, the story took a darker turn. Soon after the tomb was opened, Lord Carnarvon fell seriously ill and died in April 1923, just a few months later. He had been bitten by a mosquito, and after cutting the bite while shaving, it became infected. His sudden death sparked rumors that a deadly curse had been unleashed. Where did the idea of a curse come from? Ancient Egyptians believed in strong spiritual protection over their burial sites, especially for pharaohs. Tombs were often inscribed with warnings and curses against those who might disturb the dead. King Tut's tomb did not have a direct curse inscribed on the walls, but rumors quickly spread after Lord Carnarvon's death. The media played a huge role in spreading the idea of a curse. In the aftermath of Carnarvon's death, newspapers ran sensational stories about the curse of the pharaohs. Some even reported that a hieroglyphic inscription was found in the tomb stating, "Death will come on swift wings to him who disturbs the tomb of the pharaoh." But was this true? Actually, no such inscription was ever found in Tutankhamun's tomb, but that didn't stop the idea of the curse from taking hold. Over the next several years, other individuals involved in the excavation died under seemingly strange circumstances. Many believed the curse had struck again. Herbert Winlock, a historian, claimed that more than 20 people connected with the tomb's excavation died mysteriously. Others, like famed archaeologist James Breasted, who had worked with Carter, noted that many of his colleagues died within a few years of the tomb's discovery. Even Carter's own pet canary was said to have been killed by a cobra, an animal symbolizing Egyptian royalty. But was this really a curse? Let's examine the facts. Over the years, researchers have looked into the so-called curse with a more critical eye, and what they found might surprise you. First, let's look at Howard Carter himself, the man who led the excavation. Carter lived for more than a decade after discovering the tomb, dying of natural causes at the age of 64 in 1939. Many others who were directly involved in the tomb's excavation also lived long and healthy lives. Lord Carnarvon's death was unfortunate, but it wasn't as mysterious as the newspapers made it seem. He died from an infected mosquito bite, not from some mystical cause. In fact, the average lifespan of those involved in the discovery and excavation of the tomb was in line with the life expectancy for people of their era. Another theory that's often floated around is the idea that a curse could have been biological. Ancient tombs are sealed environments, and it's possible that dangerous molds or bacteria could have been present in the tomb. In particular, a fungus called Aspergillus has been found in tombs, which can cause respiratory issues. However, there is no conclusive evidence to suggest that anyone involved in Tutankhamun's tomb died from a fungal infection. So, if the curse wasn't real, how did the story spread so quickly? It turns out much of the curse's fame can be attributed to the media of the time. The early 20th century was an era where newspapers thrived on sensationalism. Lord Carnarvon's death presented a perfect opportunity for journalists to captivate their readers. Stories of mysterious deaths, ancient curses, and the wrath of the pharaohs sold newspapers, and people loved the drama. Many Egyptologists today, like Zahi Hawass, argue that the curse was nothing more than a legend fueled by exaggeration and superstition. It captured the imagination of a world still fascinated by the mysteries of Egypt. But there's little to no evidence to support the idea that Tutankhamun's tomb was cursed. So, what do we make of the curse of King Tutankhamun? While the stories of strange deaths and eerie coincidences continue to fascinate, there is little scientific or historical evidence to suggest that a curse was ever in place. What we see instead is a mix of human mortality, media sensationalism, and our collective fascination with ancient Egypt. The real curse, perhaps, is the way in which these stories continue to overshadow one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of all time. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out and ensures you won't miss any of our future content.